Can the New York Jets still make a trade at this point in the offseason if they wanted to? Maybe. We're going to get into it. What's going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Make sure to follow along on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. And also don't forget, Talking Jets new panel episode is tonight on the brand new Talking Jets channel. All right, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
It's the off-season time, and it is a little bit of a quiet time. And right now is a dead period. So I wanted to talk about, could the New York Jets still make a trade? And the answer is yes. It might not be super likely, but there are times that NFL teams make trades in July and August. There were a few examples last year. For instance, N'Keal Harry was traded and Baker Mayfield was traded last July, which is coming up in just a few days now. And then in August, especially at the end of the month in August, you could see a ton of movement. You saw guys like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Jalen Reagor, Laviska Shenault, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, guys like that all get moved towards the end, right before the season is about to start. So no, rosters are not anywhere close to being set, and there are still things the Jets could potentially do to improve. Are these a little outside the box? Yes. These are not guarantees. These are just conversation pieces right now for things that could potentially happen, and we'll talk through the scenario of it happening. For some context, by the way, the Jets have $23 million in cap space. Yes, it is more important for the New York Jets to re-sign Quinnen Williams. You could still do that and make a trade because the cap isn't going to change drastically this year for an extension. But moral of the story, $23 million in cap space to potentially play with. There are ways to create more by restructuring. CJ Mosley has not restructured. Aaron Rodgers has not restructured yet. And you could potentially cut someone like Corey Davis, who the Jets really, really like a lot. And I don't think it's likely that they'll cut him, but we'll go through the different guys on this list and why a trade could make sense and if they would end up cutting him for that. So anyway, let's talk through. Safety is a position that jumps out. Yes, they just signed Adrian Amos, but what if Kevin Bayard was available via trade from the Tennessee Titans? The Titans are in a weird place where they're not really going for it, but they're not really tanking yet either. They're in kind of no man's land. He has a base salary of $13.6 million over the next 2 years and probably are not going to be all that competitive over the next couple of years. In that division, the Jacksonville Jaguars are buying away the favorites, and the Titans are kind of trending in the wrong direction. They drafted another quarterback in Will Levis, and yes, Ryan Tannehill's in his last year, and maybe they want to go all in on this year, but they could also potentially sell off some pieces. Some really nice stuff from Bayard over the last few years. He missed just 4.7% of his tackles last year, a 67.3 reception percentage, 409 yards allowed, 3 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He's had 4+ interceptions in 5 of his last 6 seasons, which is really, really nice. And also added bonus, never misses any time. Never. He has not missed a game in his career. 17 games this year, 17 games last year, and 16 the rest of the way. As a rookie, he played in 16 games, started 7 of them. So the guy plays and plays a ton. This would then allow the Jets to potentially move Adrian Amos or Jordan Whitehead into that linebacker 3/hybrid role to move around. And Bayard kind of gives you that more traditional free safety, because some will argue that Adrian Amos is not that. Well, Amos is more often than not playing free safety. He's not that ball hawking free safety, which Bayard is, which would be an upgrade, obviously. Staying on the safety front, what about Budda Baker? The Arizona Cardinals may very well be the worst team in football this year. They are going to be playing without Kyler Murray. I absolutely think they are in on the tank for Caleb Williams and could potentially be looking to trade Kyler Murray after this year, but Budda Baker does them no good over for a year where you are essentially tanking and then just going forward. He has a $13.1 million base salary this year, $14.2 next year. He's only 27 years old, so he is a little bit younger than Bayard, which would be a plus, but he is great against the run. Slight step back in coverage last year than where he normally is, but he's a movable chess piece on the defense. You can line him up a free safety, strong safety, in the box, as a corner, in the slot. He moves all over the place, and if Robert Saleh is just looking for a toy, he is a exactly that. You could move him all around your defense. He's a lot of fun. He's a tackling machine. Now, my preference of the two safeties that I just listed would be Bayard, because I think he is that ball hawk that they don't really have and would be a nice add to this team. But moral of the story, I would be on board with adding a veteran safety to the mix. If they want to swing big, those are the two big guys who could still potentially be on the move at this point. And last one, let's have some fun. You want to try to score some points on offense? Well, they've been sniffing around Dalvin Cook. Jet fans want them to go after DeAndre Hopkins. But what about Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? The Bucs are also a team that is going to be in the tank for Caleb Williams. Does a veteran wide receiver over 30 years old help you in that? For one, landing him, and then is he a long-term answer for that roster? Probably not. He has a $13 million base salary in 2023. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this would free up $13.5 million this year and $7.4 million next year, which is a void year for him on that contract. But for Mike Evans, he is just one of the most consistent and underrated NFL players in this league, specifically at the wide receiver position. In his sleep, he'll give you 1,000 yards. He does it pretty much every single freaking year. And if you're looking for that true running mate to go with Garrett Wilson, holy smokes, would that be fun? Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Allen Lazard. And then at that point, you're probably cutting Corey Davis, right? Because that frees up $10 million. You're saying it's a $3 million swap. So you'd be left with essentially $20 million instead of $23 million if you were to trade for Mike Evans and then cut Corey Davis. I would be willing to do that. The Tampa Bay Bucs haven't moved on from either of their bigger receivers in Godwin or Mike Evans. Now, both of them would have just not make sense contract-wise to do before June 1. So maybe a post-June 1 trade works there. And for all these guys, like, yes, they are exciting players and bigger names, but I don't know how costly they are going to be because you are helping these teams clear up cap space. For instance, when people were talking about what a DeAndre Hopkins trade would look like and what the Cardinals could get for DeAndre Hopkins, some haul, and Dalvin Cook is still going to be able to get you something. And both of those guys really weren't able to get a whole lot. So, yeah, the Jets don't have a first-round pick or a second-round pick to move next year because, well, the Jets are probably more than likely trading their first-round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps or more, and it's a second-rounder if he plays less than 65% of the snaps. So, obviously, I don't think you could touch either of those ones, but probably a pair of mid-round picks over the next couple of years could probably get it done for any of these guys, which might sound a little bit crazy, but they are veterans with big cap numbers and are either off the books after 1 year or 2 years at the most. So again, when I say that these are the most likely scenarios and that it's guaranteed the Jets are going to go out there and make a massive big trade, now obviously that's not a realistic expectation, but is it something interesting to talk through during a quiet time in the offseason of things that they could theoretically do to improve this roster and the areas where they could look to improve and what kind of guys are potentially maybe movable or obtainable? Yes, it's not like you're going out there and saying, give me Aaron Donald or give me Justin Jefferson or like Jamar Chase or someone like that. No, like that's not realistic. But these teams, all three of them, are teams that are probably not going to be competitive in 2023 and could be looking to shed cap with some of their more expensive veterans. So that's why I chose those three. Sound off in the comments. I'm sure you're going to love it, but sound off. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I will catch you next time.